Guys are doing well. What a crazy day. It actually hit our target of 408 today on the SPY, and it just doesn't a nice little pullback here. There was some Tesla news just came out, but I mean, as you can tell here on the daily chart, we are just overbought like crazy. But then again, what they say is that the price action trumps the oscillators. Now, if you take a look at, we still got 40 minutes left into the bell, but the volume is significantly lower. I think you can change the next 40 minutes, but it doesn't look like the volume is there for this run ups to 408 so far today. I don't know if you guys use Bollinger Bands, but sometimes I do. Let me pull that up for you guys. Found something pretty interesting. Let's see if it shows up here. Yeah. So you see these purple Bollinger Bands. This is your mid band, low band, and this is your high band. And we are there at the high, okay? Of course, Bollinger Bands, they're there as a reference point. It can absolutely blow through it. But this is starting to exhaust itself. And I know yesterday I said, hey, this has got to pull back. And I'm eating my words yesterday, but because off this hanging man. But so today's pattern is obviously breaking the hanging man pattern yesterday, and here we are at the top of the Bollinger Band. So this is an area where I'm going to be a little bit more cautious next week. I do think that it is aiming for 410. It looks like it wants 410. It's like a magnet at this point. You got some volume gap here that we blew past. Okay, so volume gap, it just kind of bounced to 407 real quick. You definitely have next week a supply area of 410 and up. There's going to be a ton of supply. Now, what's happening next week? We have Powell on Wednesday. We have AMD earnings Tuesday. We have Meta earnings Wednesday. We have Amazon, Google, and Apple on Thursday. Powell Wednesday. So there's a ton of events next week that could sway and move the market one way or another. Okay, so it's either we're gonna get a hawkish Powell, all right, or we're gonna get a pivot Powell that the market is waiting for or anticipating that he's gonna pivot. No more rate hikes after February, perhaps, okay? Or it's almost virtually guaranteed it's going to be a 25 basis points for next Wednesday FOMC meeting. So we'll go from there. But I think that even if we run past 408 to maybe 410, there's a little bit of room on Monday. However, I think that's an area where we just got to be a little bit more cautious to see if we actually move past that area, or we're going to just, maybe consolidate for the next day or so, waiting for Powell's comment. So we have to anticipate some type of consolidation, or maybe we dip and kind of consolidate on Monday. Going into the 1 hour chart here, all right, so far. All right, you look at the Bollinger Bands. Once again, this purple Bollinger Band is signaling a top here, so that's why it's starting to reject a little bit. We did break out of this wedge earlier today. We started buying calls here. If you guys remember this morning, we mentioned our target today was 407, 408, and 408 absolutely hit. So that's awesome. And congratulations if you got Lucid shares last week or earlier this week at $8 or eight and change. That thing went 100%. All right. Let's go to the Qs real quick. All right. Daily chart. Let's see. We did blow past the moving average 200 on a daily, and this candle isn't right. So this is trading views error on this chart here, but absolutely a bullish candle on the Qs. The tech sector continues to be really hot. In addition to, we're right at the top of the Bollinger Band with the Qs as well. So, next week, once again, we're gonna have to see. Hopped over some volume gaps today here. All right. You don't have a ton of supply, or potentially supply around 301, 300 is going to be a big area. 300 is going to be psychological resistance going into Monday. All right. Real quick, Apple. All right. Apple is nearing the moving average 200. Okay. So if you look at the trend here, we did break through the trend several days ago on the Apple, but we're at the top of the Bollinger Band. And we're very, very close to the moving average 200. Expect some type of rejection there. But then again, we saw Q blow right past the moving average 200 yesterday. So there's going to be some hesitation for sure at 148 area, especially with all this run up before earnings, man. You have earnings on Thursday. Is it going to be sell the news, or is Apple going to be coming out with some big news, big earnings? And as you know, Apple does not provide guidance. All right, so it could get pinned. We'll see. So that's going to be on deck. I'm very interested in to see what Amazon will do next week. Okay. Once again, we're at the top of these Bollinger Bands. I don't think you want to go long here yet. All right. We just have to see earnings. But typically, Amazon does have pretty good moves on the earnings side. So you have the moving average 200s at 112. I remember playing it last quarter, and we did make pretty good money on Amazon and Google as well. So I'm going to be more interested in Google and Amazon next week. Not so much AMD, etc. Only because AMD doesn't really make too many moves with earnings. It usually gets pinned. All right, but look at that. 106 is the moving average 200 on the Google side, on Google. Now, with that being said, hope you guys had a great week and a great Friday. Go Niners! And this will be a weekend wrap-up video, and I'll see you guys first thing Monday morning.